Hey everybody, this is Carissa with the Adult Handbook, or just Carissa, whatever you want to say. I am currently breaking out. This is kind of what we'll talk about today. I've been so stressed out, and I just wanted to say, are y'all ever just feeling like you're just so deep in a rut and you just can't get yourself out? And they didn't look that bad before, but I messed with them. So I'm looking real cute today. I was in such a big rut recently, and I am never shy to admit if it's my period. I know that that's like girls' least favorite thing to hear a guy say is like, "Oh, are you like that 'cause your period?" And if my boyfriend, I don't have one, but if my invisible boyfriend or some person was like, "Oh, is it 'cause your period?" besides like my best friend or someone that hears me talk about it like that was like, "Are you on your period? Are you about to be?" That pissed me off. But if it's me, I can totally bring that up. I get really depressed, a little angry, real anxious. It's just kind of like a variety bag of, a Chex Mix bag of unhappy emotions. And so, it's that maybe, or it's maybe because we only have like 3 weeks left of school and we have like projects due and, another midterm and homework, and my doggo's being bad, and then finals, and there's always the I could have done better, I could have gone to more classes, I've been beating myself up, I've had a really hard time attending classes lately, so I don't know if it's that, and I always just kind of have like a end of the semester breakdown, and then I rethink my whole entire life and wonder if I'm doing the right thing and if I should be doing something different, and so I've just kind of realized that I'm kind of like coming out of it. I also had some like medication issues where insurance decided to stop covering one, and then so I was out without it for like 3 weeks, and then they threw me on something else, and the dose was so low that I wasn't doing shit. And so it was like, we set up a great semester with getting me on some, ADHD medicine and getting my anxiety medicine in sorts. And I don't love being on all these medicines, but I'm in engineering school, and if that's what it's going to take to get me through, then that's, I guess, what we're going to do. And he's rolling around on the carpet. He loves it. He loves it so much. And I just think I beat myself up a lot about my like current state. Like if I'm not happy, I beat myself up for not being happy. If things aren't clean, if I'm not going to class, if I'm, I'm just always beating myself up for whatever situation I am in. So, and then I hadn't gone to counseling in a while because another more stupid insurance issues, and it just got really expensive, and so I was missing it, and so it was just like, I guess, a perfect storm for just, I guess, a little bit of a wee breakdown. And so do y'all do this, or am I just the insane person floating around in life not knowing what she's doing and freaking out at all times? I don't know. And I have a hard time whenever I'm sad that I beat myself up for feeling sad. Like, I'm in a great situation. I'm not exactly where I want to be, but things, I'm lucky to, be living at home. I'm lucky to have my car paid off. I'm lucky to have the opportunity at education. I'm so lucky to have an internship not a lot of people do in my program. Like, there's all these things that I'm so lucky for, and then I just still get sad about it, and then it makes me beat myself up for like, oh, you shouldn't be sad because this, and then, and then if I'm not following my, plans that I have to absolute T, then I'm also beating myself up. So there's just a lot of beating myself up. And so I went to counseling yesterday, and up until, like, honestly, today around, like, 1 or 2, I was not feeling so great, and I haven't been for 3-ish, 4 weeks, I don't know. And it's all just come to a head, and I got in some really dark places, kind of similar to where I got last semester, and then it just made me feel even more down because, oh, well, look where you are again, is this ever going to get better? And so that's not fun things to deal with. And we talked about, so basically we just talked about that, and we talked about some issues. I don't know how personal I want to get into them, but basically, due to my childhood, which, I've always said was wonderful. My mom had me really young. It was a struggle. Things were hard, but she busted her freaking ass to get us in a good situation and to not have the childhood she had and to do the best for me. But there are, as I'm realizing as I'm getting older, things that have kind of molded me into the person I am in ways that I am not the most happy with. And I've learned that my self-talk is just kind of a perpetuation of my childhood. And my mom is amazing, and I love her so much. And she was always my best friend growing up, and she's such an important person in my life. But she's human, and she's not perfect. And to get where she needed to go and get herself out of the childhood that she grew up in, she had to be hard and fight and struggle and all of that. And, she didn't want that for me, so she built a different life for me. But then also I feel like sometimes she believes that I am weak because I am not just so rough around the edges as her. And so I just kind of am realizing that, she thinks I am weak, and that's hard to accept. And that, she, growing up, I always wanted to be an architect, and I would draw floor plans all the time. I just draw floor plans, I draw the neighborhoods, I look in magazines. My stepdad took me to get, graph paper with a little, the grids on them, and rulers and pencils and those really stinky rubber erasers and all that stuff, and I would just draw. And my mom, we've had some issues trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life, and she always says that I had no passions growing up, and I'm like, were you just completely fucking blind, to my childhood? What, and so I just feel vaguely, and so I just feel like, she didn't, and I remember, she of course knew I wanted to be one, and she would tell me that, it wasn't an ideal job because they don't make very good money, or the job market's not great, or whatever. And then I told her, these other things I wanted to do, and then those weren't realistic. And then I wanted to be an esthetician, and went to, the little tour with my great grandma, and I didn't tell her because I knew she'd flip out. And then whenever I went home, it was like the biggest fight we've ever had, like ever, ever, ever. And I said some really ugly things that I am just still not proud of, but she said that her daughter wouldn't go and do that, and she was too good, and which I don't know, what that means. But I think I just have some resentment issues with that, because I feel like, I wouldn't still be 6 years into school because I didn't know what I was doing for so long. And if I could have just went out there, got that licensing, and then went out there and tried it, I wouldn't, maybe I would have hated it, maybe it would have been horrible, but maybe I would have loved it, and maybe I could have a business now, because that's really where my heart is pulling, is I want a business. And then and then it's like, even if it wasn't what I would want, maybe that would have brought me closer to figuring out what I do want. And maybe I just could have had some more life experiences. And she made a comment the other day, and it was just so, flippant. I was telling her about, some exams I have and how they're so stupid. And she was like, oh, you should have just went to beauty school. And I was like, oh my God, I tried. And she was just like, well, I wasn't there yet. And so it's just hard to have such a big moment just be boiled down to, oh, she wasn't there yet, and it really doesn't matter what I do, and blah blah blah, whenever I've just been sitting here paralyzed trying to figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. And I'm in a program that's really heavy hard math, and really don't like heavy hard math very much, you know. It's not really where my heart is, and you know, and I'm not looking forward to sitting in a desk job with fluorescent lights and sitting in traffic to get there and sitting in traffic to get back and just sitting at a screen all day. That's not what I want for my life, and I refuse to do that. And so I guess like I've just realized that and it's like, you know, she always had a great idea, or she was always really good about cutting down what I wanted to do or what I thought maybe would be a good idea, and had a great reason for why it was a horrible idea and why I shouldn't. So she set these very high expectations, but she never like put anything at that top of the expectation mountain of like, this will be good enough, I will finally approve of you and what you do, and you'll be good enough if you do this, you know. So I've just always been trying to like chase this invisible thing and try to impress her, and I just realized that the last 6 years, you know, even longer than that, but really the last 6 years, I've been trying to impress her whenever it's my life, you know, and I don't think any of us know what we're doing, really. And so I've just been angry and having a lot of resentment issues, and that's not fair to her because she has no idea. She's going on about her day, and I'm over here like pissed and angry about it, and she has no idea. And and I just feel like and that's not fair, and I just feel like it's created like a lot of self-doubt in me, and I don't have a lot of trust in myself because every idea I ever had was shot down, or Carissa, why are you sad? Why are you so emotional? Why are you reacting like this? Why do you want this? Why don't you da 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 da? So I just feel like that's just my self-talk. It's like, because in my head it's like, Carissa, why? Or is that the right decision? Or, you know, think about it from this way, or would that impress this person, or da da da. So it's like, now I'm in this degree where you know, like there is a direction where I could get to where I wanted to go, I believe, but it's definitely not like the stereotypical, oh, I'm going to be an engineer and that's going to get me exactly where I want. I'm going to have to, you know, graduate with this degree and then kind of go back to the drawing board and figure out, Wrigley, stop it. He's eating my knee pad. And so go back to the drawing board, and, you know, and then now we're talking, you know, another year and a half down the line, and I'll be 26-ish, and then I can finally start my life, and it's just very frustrating. And so I've just been having issues with that, and my counselor, you know, we talked about how, you know, she's been amazing, and I love my mom so much, and she's given me so many opportunities at life and stuff, but also she's not perfect, she's human, and either she's gonna have to start validating me as a human and be like, oh, you know, I think that's a great idea, or this, or da-da-da, which she's not gonna do. It's not her personality, it's not her way her brain's wired, or I'm going to have to start doing that myself. And so it just feels like I have to go in and rewire the whole entire essence of my being and in my brain, and it's deep into my bones to sit and doubt myself and wonder and have 4,000 reasons why something will work, won't work, and maybe will, maybe won't, you know. And so it's just frustrating, and I'm just angry, and with that on top of just all these other things, I just, you know, I'm just frustrated. And to go in even more deeper way, I feel like I'm always just striving for approval, which I'm sure, you know, we're as humans, we're always striving for some parental approval, whether it be our mom or our dad or both, or somebody else, you know, that we grew up with, brother, sister, grandma, whatever, grandpa. And I just feel like I've just been striving to make her happy, and I just don't know if it's ever going to happen. And that kind of just makes you hit a road of, I've been trying to make her happy so long that I haven't been trying to do what I think is best for me. And I guess this is a great realization to have at 24 opposed to 34, 44, 54, you know, keep going up, you know. So I'm very happy about that. But I think I've been chasing that, and I've been chasing what we used to be. Like we used to be so close, and I feel like we just really aren't anymore. I just feel like I can't grab her attention. She's always on her phone. She always stares at her phone. She's always, like in this way, and it's hard whenever you feel like the parents are usually doing the wishing their kids would pay attention to them, or slow their life down so that they can still remember them. But then it's like I'm in a situation where I'm just sitting here wishing I could get a moment of my mom's attention, and 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 then I choose this really hard impressive major, and I know that sounds so douchey. I know, but I choose this really hard major to impress her, and then she just is sitting there texting on her phone, and she goes, "Well, I don't understand it," and I'm like, "Holy fuck," like, "Hello, I'm here. Please pay attention to me." And we used to be so close, and I just feel like I'm just at this weird point in my life where I just like I still live at home, and yeah, I'm in college, and yeah, I have a job, and I'm doing things pretty right, and I didn't know the exact path, and it doesn't mean I have to be farther along, but I just feel like I don't know, I just wish I had more to show for myself, and I just feel like really, I guess, just disconnected from everything. And I'm not doing like a shame my mom hour or anything. I'm just trying to talk about things I've never talked about before. And I just feel like as an only child, I'm already so disconnected from my childhood because I don't, have anyone to, shoot shit with about, oh, remember when we did this? Or remember we did that? Well, like, I'm already like by myself, and I have a shitty memory, so I don't remember a lot. And then I don't feel like I did much. And then she never brings up like she never brings up my childhood, and if she does, it's about how I was a weird kid. And I was a weird kid. I'm a weird adult. I'm a weird human, and like, yeah, I'm super, I'm a fucking emotional sponge. I have so many feelings. I have so many thoughts and ideas. My world is just like, my world is barely like out here physically. It's like so much in my head that it's hard to, portray any of that. But like, maybe you're the reason I'm fucking weird, like, and I believe that whenever you're older, that you can't sit and blame your parents for everything you are. But then also I feel like I haven't been doing myself a service to realize that maybe these reasons are the way I am. And it's just like, she used to tell me of all the bads in the world, all the horrible things that happened to her. And I'm talking about like 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, about all the things my dad did to her, about all the horrible things happening in the world. And I remember she would just cry, and we'd cry in the bed. And I'm talking about like 5, 6, I don't even know, but very, very young. And like, no wonder I'm an emotional sponge. No wonder I can feel everyone's pain, because you were sitting there grooming me for it. I'm sorry that I wasn't a happy-go-lucky kid, but you didn't really give me much of an opportunity to be, And so I'm going off on a depressing tangent, and I'm sorry about that. And I'm sure that hearing about my own personal life is not the most exciting thing in the world. So let me get back on track. So we were talking about how I need to validate myself. So today, this morning, this afternoon, I wrote like a full page of everything I was feeling or thinking, and then wrote, and it's okay. So I'm not okay, and it's okay, or I'm sad, and I am sad sometimes, or I'm sad for no reason, and it's okay. Or let me see what I got, like normal, like I don't have a perfect body, and it's okay. I feel alone sometimes, and that's okay. Sometimes I wish I was someone else, and that's okay. My mom and I aren't what I thought we would be, and that's okay. I've been sleeping a lot, and that's okay. I need medication, and that's okay. I'm not further along in my life, and I put further in quotation marks, and that's okay. I don't know what I want, and that's okay. I wish I could go back in time, and that's okay. I'm not perfect, and that's okay. I don't have the best coping mechanisms right now, and that's okay. That's not everything, but that's just basically the gist. And I'm just trying to start learning to validate myself. I'm trying to start giving myself that love and that space to not be what I wished I was, or what I had planned to be now, and so I just wanted to talk about, maybe if you had because my childhood was not bad, and maybe if you had a horrible childhood, and maybe you had abusive parents or whatever, and no one told you, I'm proud of you, or I love you, or you can do anything you set your mind to, I love you, things like that, you can be that person for yourself. You can be the person that you needed growing up, and you can be that person for yourself, and you can be that person for others around you, for kids in your life, for your own kids, and that's okay. It's okay that your childhood wasn't ideal. It's okay that things haven't been the way that you anticipated to them to be, and that's okay. And I'm just trying to find the strength and the power in that to move forward, because I feel like I spend a lot of time beating myself up for not being this perfect ideal, or this, like, I just wish right now that I could be, I don't know, working from my laptop and traveling the world and staying in treehouse Airbnbs and have, some badass life and some decent money and something bigger to show of myself. But this is what I got right now, and I'm just only gonna build up from here. But I feel like there's a lot of base work I need to do to build up. And yeah, so wherever you are right now, however you're listening to this, however you feel, I even had in there, sometimes I don't want to be alive, and that's okay. So if you're there, if you don't want to be alive right now, if you feel that way, that's an okay way to feel. We don't always feel great. We don't always feel the way that everyone talks about their lives, or the way everyone looks on Instagram. Everything isn't always positive and amazing, and shit is a whole lot harder than anyone ever really said it would be. Yeah, they're like, yeah, it's hard, but I didn't know that things would lack so much clarity so much of the time, and be so messy so much of the time. I just thought, oh yeah, you lose your job and it makes you sad, and then you gotta go find a new one, or oh, you break up and that's really hard, and da-da-da. I thought it was more like that. I didn't know that, like, freaking waking up and being alive was so difficult. So, on that note, I'm at 23 minutes. I've been trying to keep these a little shorter. I know they're long still, but I've been trying to keep them a little shorter. But thank you for listening. I know this was a little heavier than I anticipated. So, but that's okay. That's what we're talking about. So, yeah, I hope y'all have a great week. And if you're in a hard spot, that's okay. And hearing that it will get better doesn't do mean shit, because whenever you're in a low spot, yeah, you intellectually know it will get better, it should get better or whatever, but that doesn't fix anything. So just try to just accept where you are and give yourself that space and validate yourself, and just let it be what it is, instead of fighting reality and trying to make it something it's not. So, yeah, I've been trying to leave this video for, a few minutes now, so I'm going to go ahead and go, and y'all have a wonderful week, and bye.